She didn't even blink as her fingers danced over my keyboard, erasing lines of code I'd poured my soul into for nearly a decade. Rebecca Vaughn, our new COO, with her designer suit and that predatory smile, leaned in close enough that I could smell her expensive perfume mixed with the faint bitterness of overbrewed coffee. "This relic is history," she murmured, her voice like silk over steel. I stood there in the dim glow of the server room, heart pounding but face impassive, watching her dismantle the very safeguard I'd built to protect Horizon Tech from itself. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon in our Silicon Valley headquarters, the kind where the hum of air conditioning drowned out the world outside. But inside me, a storm was brewing, slow, deliberate, the kind that builds without a sound until it unleashes everything.
I should have stopped her right then.
Reminded her that even with her Harvard pedigree and her track record of scaling startups into unicorns, she couldn't just override the foundational protocols without consequences. But I didn't. I let her delete the Access Gatekeeper module, the one I designed after that nightmare data breach back in 2015, when a rogue vendor nearly tanked our entire operation. It wasn't just code, it was a covenant etched into our corporate charter as Section 42B, a hidden clause requiring my personal cryptographic approval for any deal north of $500 million. I'd buried it deep in the legalese, approved by the board during a late-night session where everyone was too exhausted to question the fine print. It was my insurance policy, my silent sentinel. Let me take you back, though, to how I got here. 6 years ago, Horizon Tech recruited me from a cybersecurity firm in D.C., where I'd fortified networks for government contractors, the kind whose names you whisper. I wasn't flashy. I didn't chase promotions or corner offices. I built invisible walls, the ones that held up the empire without anyone noticing. At Horizon, they needed someone who could navigate the minefield of regulations, HIPAA for our health data partnerships, SOX for financial transparency, and the endless web of international privacy laws that could sink a merger faster than a bad earnings call. I didn't just comply, I anticipated. Every major contract flowed through my system, flagged for risks, audited for leaks. And at the heart of it all was Section 42B, my masterpiece, untouchable without my sign-off, designed to prevent exactly the kind of reckless streamlining Rebecca was pushing. She arrived like a whirlwind, fresh from a fintech darling in New York, preaching agility and disruption. Her first all-hands meeting was a masterclass in charisma. "We're cutting the fat,
Folks.
no more red tape strangling innovation." The room erupted in applause. But I sat in the back, notebook in hand, jotting down every vague promise. By week 3, she'd launched an efficiency overhaul, hiring consultants from a buzzy firm called Streamline Dynamics. They swarmed our offices like eager interns, armed with laptops and buzzwords. AI-driven compliance, they boasted. It adapts in real time. I raised concerns in memos, polite, factual, outlining how their tweaks could expose us to federal audits. Rebecca's responses? Crickets. Or worse, a forwarded email with a single word, noted. I felt the shift in the air, the way colleagues avoided my gaze in the break room. Whispers about legacy thinkers, holding back progress. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, I overheard her in a hallway chat. "That old guard? They'll adapt or get out." My pulse quickened, but I didn't confront her. Instead, I documented every change, every bypassed protocol, timestamped and archived in a secure vault only I could access. Because I knew what she didn't. Compliance isn't a suggestion. It's the spine that keeps the body from collapsing. And Horizon's biggest deal yet, the merger with Apex Innovations, valued at $2.8 billion, was barreling toward my tripwire. As Q2 wrapped up, the office buzzed with merger fever. Banners in the lobby touted a new horizon, and catered lunches featured Apex's logo on the napkins. Rebecca paraded through the floors, high-fiving teams, her energy infectious. But behind the scenes, her consultants were gutting my safeguards, replacing multi-factor verifications with streamlined logins, ignoring anomaly detection for faster onboarding. I flagged it in a report, potential violation of Section 42B thresholds. She scheduled a one-on-one. Her office overlooking the valley, all glass and minimalism. "Emily," she said, using my name like a weapon, "you're resistant to change. This isn't the Stone Age." I met her eyes.
Come.
"It's about risk. Rebecca, the merger hits the clause limit." She laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. "Clauses are flexible. We'll handle it." That night, alone in my apartment with the city lights flickering below, I reviewed my logs. Her overrides were stacking up, each one a breadcrumb leading to disaster. I didn't sleep much. Instead, I refined my documentation, adding video captures of the system alterations. The tension coiled inside me, slow and unrelenting, like a spring being wound tighter. I knew the explosion was coming, not from me, but from the system I'd built. Rebecca thought she was revolutionizing. She was unraveling. And when the merger docs landed on my desk for final review, I held my breath, ready for the damning to break. The merger docs arrived via encrypted link at dawn, the subject line screaming urgency, Apex final clearance priority. I opened them in my home office, coffee steaming beside me, the weight of what was coming settling like fog over the bay. Rebecca had escalated the valuation overnight, pushing it from $480 million to $520 million to seal investor confidence, her memo bragged. Little did she know, that nudge activated Section 42B, my clause. Now a live wire humming in the background. I scanned the terms. Data sharing protocols weakened. Vendor audits skipped. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed my hold, pending POA validation. Policy Originator Authority me. Sent to the board. CC'd to legal. No fanfare. Just protocol. By noon, the storm hit. Rebecca burst into my cubicle. Yes, I still preferred a cubicle over an office. Kept me grounded. Her face flushed. A tablet gripped like a shield. "What the hell is this hold?" she demanded. Voice low but slicing. Colleagues nearby froze,
Pretending to type.
I looked up slowly, meeting her glare. "The deal exceeds the threshold. Requires my sign-off per charter." She leaned in, breath hot. "You're stalling a billion-dollar future over some footnote?"
Sign it. Now.
I didn't move. "It's not optional. Rebecca. It's law, board ratified." Her eyes narrowed. A flicker of uncertainty, quickly masked by fury. "You're done playing gatekeeper." She stormed out, heels clicking like gunfire. The suspension came via HR email that afternoon, effective immediately. Pending review. No meeting. No warning, just a digital guillotine. I packed my things methodically. Laptop. Notes. The framed photo of my late mentor, who taught me the art of quiet resilience. As I walked through the open-plan floor, heads turned, whispers followed. Rebecca watched from her glass perch, arms crossed, victorious. But I felt no defeat, only the calm before the unleashing. Outside, in the parking lot, my phone buzzed. It was Greg Lawson, CFO of Apex. A contact from due diligence calls. "Emily, we got your hold notice. Everything okay?" I paused by my car, the silicon air crisp. "Not exactly. I've been suspended." Silence. Then, suspended? "You're the POA. Walk me through this." We met at a neutral coffee shop in Palo Alto. Away from prying eyes. Greg, silver-haired and sharp-suited, listened as I laid it out. The clause's origins. Rebecca's overrides. The risks to both firms if we proceeded without clearance. Without my token, I explained. The merger's non-compliant. Insurance voids. SEC flags. It's a house of cards. He rubbed his temples, the weight sinking in. Rebecca assured us it was greenlit. I nodded. She assumed. But assumptions aren't signatures. By the time we parted, his team was on alert. Back home, I monitored the fallout via back channels, friends, and legal texting updates. Rebecca's efficiency was crumbling under scrutiny. The next day, the board convened an emergency Zoom. I wasn't invited, but leaks trickled in. Rebecca defended her moves, streamlining for growth, but Greg's team had fired off a letter. Noncompliance halts negotiations. Panic rippled. Investors twitched. Stock dipped 3%. I stayed silent, letting the system do the talking. That evening, alone with a glass of wine, I reflected on the years I'd invested. Nights debugging. Weekends studying regs. It wasn't ego, it was duty. Rebecca saw friction. I saw foundation. And now, as the pressure mounted, I felt the damning strain. The slow build toward release. Rebecca tried damage control, a company-wide email touting minor procedural delays. But whispers grew louder. A junior analyst messaged me. Is it true about the clause? I didn't respond. Discretion was my armor. By week's end, Apex demanded a face-to-face. The venue, a sleek conference center in San Francisco. Neutral ground. I arrived uninvited but expected. Greg had looped me in. Rebecca was there, poised but pale, flanked by consultants. The room crackled with tension as Greg laid it out. No POA sign-off. No deal. Period. Rebecca shot me a venomous look. This is sabotage. I spoke evenly. It's protocol. I flagged risks months ago. Ignored. Evidence projected. My memos. Timestamps glaring. The air thickened. Arguments simmering. Rebecca pushed. We can amend the charter. But the board rep hesitated. Not without vote and time. Greg stood. We're out if not resolved in 72 hours. As he left, the room deflated. Rebecca turned to me. Voice a hiss. Happy now? I met her eyes. It's not about happiness. It's about integrity. Walking out into the foggy night, I felt the coil tighten further. The explosion inching closer. The merger hung by a thread. My thread. The 72-hour clock ticked like a bomb in a thriller, each second amplifying the strain. Horizon Stock Forum buzzed with speculation. Analysts downgraded us to hold. Rebecca doubled down, rallying her allies in a late-night strategy huddle I wasn't part of. But I knew the play. Pressure the board to retroactively nullify Section 42B. What she didn't count on was the clause's ironclad embedding tied to federal compliance standards. Unamendable without a full audit. I spent the time fortifying my position, consulting my own lawyer, archiving more logs, even notifying the SEC of potential irregularities per whistleblower protocols. Not out of spite, but survival. The build-up was excruciating. Emotions churning beneath my calm facade, frustration at being sidelined, quiet pride in my foresight. Day 2 dawned with a board summons. Via video, faces grim on my screen. Emily, explain the impasse. I did. Methodically, Rebecca's changes compromised safeguards. The hold protects both parties. Questions flew. I answered with evidence. Rebecca joined midway, interrupting. She's obstructive. The chair silenced her. Facts. Please. By end, doubt shadowed her. Postcall. My phone rang, anonymous number. It's Leonard, board member. Off record. Can you fix this? I paused. The moment heavy. Reinstate me fully. Log the delay properly.
He sighed.
Will deliberate. That night, insomnia gripped me. Memories flooded of building the system post-breach. The board's gratitude then.
Now.
Vindication loomed. But at what cost? Apex's ultimatum hit at dawn day 3. Resolve or withdraw. Chaos ensued. Rebecca's office became a war room. Consultants scrambling. I got the call mid-morning. Come in? The elevator ride-up felt eternal. Heart racing despite my poise. Rebecca met me at the door. Forced smile. Let's collaborate. But her eyes betrayed desperation. In the conference room, board and Apex reps waited. Greg nodded at me. Your sign-off is key. Rebecca interjected. We can proxy it. I shook my head. Invalidates everything. Tension peaked, voices rose. Then, the chair. Emily's right. Reinstate her. Rebecca's face crumpled, shock. Fury. You can't, but they could. Her power play backfired spectacularly. As I signed digitally, the system pinged approval. Merger unlocked. Relief washed over the room. But for Rebecca, it was defeat. She resigned that afternoon. Personal reasons, the cover. I felt no triumph, just quiet resolve. The explosion had come, not loud, but decisive. Horizon retained me as consultant. My firm, Vanguard Integrity, securing a hefty contract. But the real win? The clause endured. A silent guardian. Walking out. Sun setting over the valley. I breathed deep. The damming had burst, leaving clarity in its wake. Wait. No, that wasn't the end. The aftermath lingered. Emotions raw. Rebecca's exit sparked internal audits. My memos became gospel. Colleagues reached out. You saved us. I downplayed it, but inside, validation bloomed. Yet, doubts crept. Had I been too passive? The system worked, but at personal toll. Still, as new deals pinged my inbox, I knew the foundation held. With Rebecca gone, the office exhaled. Whispers turned to open respect. My cubicle became a pilgrimage site for advice. The board formalized my role. External POA. Untouchable. Vanguard Integrity boomed. Contracts from rivals pouring in. But the emotional residue clung. Nights replaying her bargain. The suspension sting. I confided in a therapist. It was calculated, but it hurt. She nodded. Power dynamic scar. Healing came slow. Through work. The Apex merger closed smoothly. Headlines praising seamless integration. No mention of the drama. Corporate amnesia at play. Greg called post-signing. You were the linchpin. We laughed. Tension dissolved. Yet, Rebecca's shadow lingered. LinkedIn showed her, at a Denver startup, polished posts on lessons in agility. I wondered if she reflected or blamed. One day, a mutual contact shared, she admits underestimating compliance. Vindication. Bittersweet. Horizon evolved. Distributed checks. No single override. My pings arrived quarterly. Cryptographic handshakes affirming my imprint. In boardrooms, they spoke of the vault, code for my clause. I smiled privately. Invisibility was power. A year on, a new megadeal loomed, $1.2 billion with a biotech firm. The ping came, I validated from my lakeside cabin. Cat purring nearby. No drama this time, respect embedded. But the memory evoked a quiet thrill, the slow build, the release. It wasn't revenge, it was justice, system-driven. As the sun set, I pondered, in a world of rush. Who guards the guards? Me? Apparently. And that left a haunting question. How many unsung architects hold empires together? Waiting in the wings? The biotech deal sealed without a hitch. But it stirred old echoes. I visited Horizon for a routine audit. Corridors familiar, yet changed, new faces. Rebecca's office repurposed. A young exec pulled me aside. Your claws? Legendary. I chuckled. Just good design. But inside, pride mingled with melancholy. The system's endurance was my legacy. But at what human cost? Relationships strained during the ordeal. Trust rebuilt slowly. Therapy helped unpack. You weaponized patience, effective, but isolating. True, I'd armored emotions, emerging stronger yet wary. Rebecca surfaced indirectly, a conference panel on corporate friction. Her talk, balanced speed with safeguards. Subtle nod to our clash? I watched online. Feeling closure. No bitterness, growth for both. Vanguard expanded to 10 clients. My team handling the load. I mentored juniors. Document everything. Systems outlast egos. One asked, what if they ignore? I smiled. Build so they can't. 2 years post-drama. Horizon's annual report cited enhanced compliance frameworks. My handiwork. Unnamed. A board invite arrived. Advisory role. I accepted part-time. Bridging past and future. The final ping came on the anniversary of her intrusion. Verification confirmed. No action needed. Symbolic, the clause lived autonomously now. As I closed my laptop, gazing at stars, a profound peace settled. Empires rise on visible leaders, but endure on hidden pillars. Whose hand holds your key? The question lingers. A moral whisper in the corporate night.